Hello everyone, today I will be showing you how to make the custom Mafex red hood out of a Hush Batman. I used an official Hush Batman, but I'm pretty sure you could do it with the CT toys, but the only thing is these lower legs are not the Hush Batman. The lower legs came completely from a KO Mafex Deadpool, and I got the waist joint actually fits on the official Mafex. I put some sticky tack because it's a little loose, but the waist joint from the KO Deadpool fits in the Mafex. So I'm not sure if the Hush CT Toys Batman will fit on the same peg, but maybe you can modify it if you want to, or if you can, to make it work. So the main things you'll need: Hush Batman, KO Mafex Deadpool, and then that's pretty much like the starter. So I'll kind of like voice over some previous images that I have that I took before like finishing the custom, because I didn't record any footage because I don't really have like the right setup to record while I'm doing customs, at least very well. But I'll kind of voice over what happened and I'll kind of show you guys the progress. I also do want to give complete credit to Dang It Productions. He inspired this whole custom. I actually got this head sculpt from him, and I'm not sure if I got these guns from him or if I got the guns from Colts 3D. But either way, complete credit to him. I would never have made this if he didn't make his. And all the stuff that I used, I will try to link in the description if I figure that out. But if not, I'll kind of like tell you where you can get it. Like this head you can get off the Dang It Productions Etsy store. The guns you can get off of there as well. I can't really explain where to get the like Hush Batman, because you can get it from a bunch of different places. I got mine off of Mercari. And then the lower legs, I think you can get them off of AliExpress, but I'm not sure, because I got mine also off of Mercari from like a foddered base. But those are pretty much like the extra things you need. The epoxy sculpt you can get off of Amazon. It's called Green Stuff. And yeah, that's kind of like self-explanatory how to use it. It has the instructions. But you get the Green Stuff Amazon, Etsy store for the head, guns, Etsy store. These holsters actually came from a Black Series Star Wars character that I will show later. And then I think that's pretty much all you need, other than the paints, of course. I'll explain that later. Alright, so right here you can kind of see where I put the parts together for the body. The upper torso completely Mafex Hush Batman, and then the lower torso was the KO Mafex Deadpool. That was like very rough base, how it should look when you're putting it together. That's how I kind of got the idea for it. The reason the legs are black and white is because I was gonna be a red hood or a red X custom that I have made, but it didn't work out, so I ended up making red hood. Alright, here you can see was where I started sanding down the legs, because it did have a few ridges on the shin guards, so I sanded them down a little bit. I sanded down the leg because it had some rough areas. I took everything off of like the belt line for the KO Mafex Deadpool, and then I put Green Stuff to add the wrinkles on the pants and to add the belt buckles. And then I also did add knee pads. So once you got all of that dried up, that's pretty much the legs. You just do the wrinkles, you do the pad, and then the belt buckles, and then just let the epoxy dry, and then you're ready to paint the legs. The hands are actually very simple but very tedious. All I did was sculpt out on each knuckle a little square of the Green Stuff, the epoxy sculpt, to get the kind of to get like the armored look on the gloves. And then I did that for every single knuckle and every single hand that I wanted to use, and then I just repainted it. Here you can see I got these holsters off of this Black Series Star Wars figure. I don't watch Star Wars at all, but I did have this figure just laying around, and I was like, oh, I could use these holsters that he has, and it actually worked. Ended up working out perfectly. One little thing I did forget to mention was on the forearms, I cut off the arm fins. I don't really know what to call them, and then I sanded them down. Then I put Green Stuff on the the lower forearm and the upper forearm to make it look like rolled up sleeves and like he has gloves. But the holsters, you can see the tabs kind of going up to the belt. Those tabs going up, I cut them off completely, and then I use this little piece of like elastic fabric to kind of make it look more like comic accurate to the comic cover that I was kind of using as reference. But that's pretty much what I did. Now here's kind of like the middle before I started doing some painting, and I ended up re-sculpting over the bat symbol because I didn't want to just paint the Batman bat symbol red, because I wanted it to be more like comic accurate, I guess. But the jacket I did get off of eBay, and I will try to link that if I can re-find it. But if not, I'm pretty sure you can find a similar looking just brown jacket off of eBay. Here I filled in the lines for the bat symbol with green stuff, so I can make my own bat symbol. So I completely filled it in, the lines, then I sanded it down to be smooth. And I did do the same thing where the cape would sit, because there was holes in the torso in the front and the back. I just filled those in with green stuff and then kind of smoothed it out so it looked like, you know, like a regular torso. So after I let the epoxy sculpt dry, I just sanded everything, and then it was pretty much good for me to start painting. Now that I had all the pretty much like the green stuff areas finished, I was ready to start painting. I will show the paints later in the final result on which ones I used. But as you can see, I started painting like the entire legs, the upper torso. I still hadn't done the holster part yet, but I will explain it once it's done. But for I just painted the skin tones. I kind of put it all together, get the idea. Painted the skin tone on the forearms, the darker gray for the torso, and then obviously the pants and the armor pieces. Alright, here's like the pretty much 99% done. I just had to sculpt the Red Hood symbol on the chest, and I just looked at a comic reference. I did sculpt it on the body itself. Like I didn't take it off of, like I didn't sculpt it on like something else and then put it on. I sculpted it on the body, and that was pretty much it. I just sculpted the symbol, got it to where I liked it, and then just waited for it to dry, and then I finished painting it, and now I have my Red Hood custom. I hope you guys kind of like enjoyed that little walkthrough. I don't really do these, so I'm sorry if it's all over the place, but I definitely will try to make more, hopefully make them better. One thing that I do want to say is with the jacket, these arms on the original Mafex Hush Batman were too buff for the jacket, so with the same KO Mafex Deadpool, I replaced the forearms and the shoulders, so you can kind of see the difference in like musculature. And the elbow joint going all the way into the shoulder joint is the same for the Hush Batman. It's the same joint. I just like got the outer shelling, I guess you could call it, of the shoulder and the forearm, and you can kind of see like how deep the joint goes because it's a different body. But that definitely does help this jacket fit on better, like it makes it look better without his shoulders bulging. So that was one thing I do want to like get clear. And right now I will show you guys the paints that I did. These are all the paints that I did end up using. Most of this figure is just mixtures of gray and white. But I just use this plain silver for like the guns and the shin pads. I use this like more non-metallic gray for the upper torso, because you can see that the Batman and Red Hood are different shades of gray. And then the pants are this satin black mixed with this gray, and the same for the upper torso. I just put more black than gray for the pants, and then put more gray than black on the upper torso. The forearms, I use this light mocha. You could probably find a better color to do forearms, but this is just what I had. And then a mixture of red, because if you just use the mocha by itself, it will be a little too like pale, kind of look like paper-ish. Like it doesn't have much depth to it, so I did add red a little bit. For the head sculpt, just plain this red. It does help bring out the colors more if you give it a white base and then paint the red over, trying to make it pop. Same for the symbol. And so yeah, there's not too much intricate painting that needs to be done. So these are essentially all you need. And the yellow I use, I believe, for the knuckle pieces, because they are like a beige. So I think I used a little bit of yellow, black, and maybe gray. So that's only if you really want like to get the color. I'm pretty sure you can find easier color or a different mix just to get the knuckle pieces. But that's essentially it. I did use the same method for this head sculpt. I can't really give an exact link to it since I 3D printed it, like off of Colts 3D. So you can't really just like buy it unless you have a 3D printer. But I did the same thing for the skin tone on the forearms for the head. And the eyes, I used a bright blue and then black, essentially. The blue doesn't really matter as long as like you like it. Like, it's not like an exact blue you need, just like regular bright blue. The hair is just satin black, the same black. And then same for the eyebrows. So that's about all the paints you need. Okay, all of the accessories that I used came or like the hands specifically came completely from the Hush Batman. Like the hands I used for holding the guns are, I think, these hands that are for like the batarangs. Oh, sorry, it's not focusing. I think this hand is like to hold the batarangs, but it works perfectly fine to hold the guns. I think this knife, I think it did come with the KO Mafex Deadpool. I'm not completely sure, to be honest, but that if that's where the knife came from, then I think that's where it came from. This gun, I did 3D print off of a model on Colts 3D, but I'm pretty sure you can probably find a similar gun, maybe with like old Marvel Legends or a like online seller. And then yeah, of course the head sculpt I also did 3D print off of Colts 3D. Like I think I mentioned that earlier. This is like a custom made accessory. I got like one of the batarangs and then I wrapped some wiring around it to kind of look like something Scorpion would use for Mortal Kombat. But that's essentially like all the accessories that I used for him. Now with the kit bash from the Hush Batman and the KO Deadpool, he does make Red Hood a little bit taller. I don't know if you can kind of see it. He's like ever so slightly taller. But if that's like bothers you a lot, then maybe keep that in mind. Try to shorten it or something. But I did want to mention that just in case it was like a problem for some people. But other than that, if you enjoyed this custom tutorial, drop a like, subscribe. And if this video does well, if I get more requests to do other custom reviews or tutorials, I definitely will make more. But I did want to make this one because a lot of people have been asking about Red Hood. But other than that, thank you guys.